Welcome back. MTG Joe here with another standard one. So a couple housekeeping notes before we jump into this video. Thanks to Wizards, I will be taking place in the streamer event for Theros next week. So that's Wednesday the 15th. So we'll get a sneak peek on this channel. I'll be streaming a bunch of Theros brews all day. From the time they kick off, I think it's around 10 Eastern. Through to the early evening. If there is any type of decks or brews that you want to see, if you have any brews yourself you're working on, do drop a comment on my YouTube channel and we'll try to play as many user decks as possible along with our own brews. I will be trying to find the best variation of mono black, and then kind of a lead into this deck, I'm trying to find a home for the Thassa. I've posted a couple brews already, but there's a lot of exciting decks with Theros around the corner. And then just in terms of my regular stream, I know in the past I've been a little sporadic, but with my wife back in school, I kind of have an idea when she has night classes. So I will be streaming pretty much every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for the next couple months around 6 Eastern. Usually go for about an hour to 2 hours, depending on the deck and what we have. So feel free to stop by on Twitch. As always, you can catch all my content on YouTube. So thanks for Wizards for the sponsor on Theros, so excited for that. And now jumping into this deck. So mentioned Thassa. Thassa is something we want to see. So Thassa is the new god. At your end step, you get to exile a permanent you control, creature you control, and have it come back. So really what we want to do is abuse ETB or enter the battlefield triggers. So what this deck is a Bant, so blue, white, green, enter the battlefield kind of blink deck. So what we really care about is having stuff come into play and have an effect in terms of our creatures. So what we're doing is we have Arboreal Grazer to help us ramp. We have a lot of stuff in the 3-drop slot that helps us get ahead. Could put an extra land into play. Prefer this in this particular build over Goose because we want to get ahead on the mana and keep the mana in play. And it works better in terms of a blocker than the Goose. We're not really abusing food synergies, so it's better in this case here. Charming Prince is actually one of the engines of the deck. Early game, it can gain you some life for scry, set up your draw, or it's really the third point on it where we get to exile a creature we control and return to the battlefield, effectively recycling the enter the battlefield effects. Fblthp is a 2-mana draw card, throw it in front of a big creature, and have it block afterwards. So it's just a way for us to kind of get some card advantage. Neoform is a way for us to tutor for specific cards out of our deck. Sacrifice a creature, look into your library for a creature with CMC, converted mana cost 1 more, and put it into the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it. So this lets us kind of toolbox and get specific answers as we would need. A couple Hydroid Krasis just to refill our hand. We are a creature deck, so if we get board wiped, we want to be able to refill. Also gains us some life. Deputy can get rid of temporarily non-land permanents, so an aggro can get rid of stuff. If they go wide with a board of tokens, it could reset like Knight of Even Legion, get rid of a Fires, get rid of Cavaliers. So a good card over there. Then we have Knight of Autumn. I think this card's pretty well positioned right now. Against aggressive decks, it can gain you life. Against control-y decks, it's a 4/3 for 3 mana. And it could also destroy artifacts or enchantments, so Fires, Ember Cleaves, Oven. There's a whole bunch of cards that it can deal with in that case there. Risen Reef. So the ideal play is you go Arboreal into Risen Reef just to get you ahead on mana, or it can give you card advantage there. We're not heavy in terms of elementals. We do have the Risen Reef and the Cavalier of Thorns, but it is a way for us to just kind of get some utility out of that. If it gets bounced, like the nice thing is if any of our creatures gets bounced by Teferi, it's just free value for us because we get to recast them again. Dungeon Geists is something I want to try out. So this is one of the kind of tap and they don't untap effect creatures. So it's a 4 mana 3/3 flyer. It taps down a creature that doesn't untap for as long as you control Dungeon Geist. But what I want to try to do is use it in conjunction with something like Charming Prince or eventually Thassa, where you can tap a creature, it's tapped, you blink it, it comes back into play, you tap another creature, and now you have 2 creatures like trapped under the lock of Dungeon Geist. So I want to see how that works out. The body's a little fragile, A couple questing beasts just to deal with planeswalkers. It's a good utility creature in itself, and it kind of helps in the terms of giving the deck some fight power. Elite Guardmage is 4 mana, 2/3 flyer, gain some life, draw a card, just a way for us to get some card advantage. Prime Speaker is basically Neoform but on a creature, so this is very similar to Birthing Pod. Maybe too slow with all the counter decks coming around. But it is a way for us to kind of toolbox into. So I want to test this out. There's a couple cards I want to see how they work before we actually decide whether or not we're going to cut them. And then in the 5-drop slot, I have God-Eternal Oketra. I was really impressed in the blue-white version we played a couple weeks ago. Whenever you cast a creature, you get a 4/4 black zombie, and it just kind of recycles into our deck. Cavalier of Thorns puts us more ahead in terms of mana. And then it can also recycle things when it dies. Tolsimir is a fight card that can gain us some life as well. So there's actually no planeswalkers in the main. We got Agents of Treachery at the top end, steal their stuff, blink it, steal some more stuff. And then a 1 Great Henge. We don't get the huge cost reduction, but it is a way if we can get it out to just cycle through our deck and get a bunch of utility out of it that way. Mana base pretty standard, bunch of duels, some 3 Fabled Passage, and a Castle Ardenvale. Sideboard wise, we got a couple Dovin's Veto and Mystical Dispute versus like the Flash counter based matchups, Prison Realm versus Planeswalkers, 3 Teferis to be brought in against Flash because we are a mid range. We will have trouble when they're holding up counters against us. 2 more Knights when we need to blow up stuff. Shifting Ceratops versus the Flash matchup as well. So you pretty much shift your board. You take out a bunch of your clunky 5-drops and you bring in this kind of mid rangey control deck. Cavalier of Dawn is another card I want to test out. It's elemental, so it triggers Risen Reef, but can also blow up their stuff. And you could also blow up your own stuff, which is kind of cool to like upgrade. So say you have a Arboreal Grazer, you can make it a 3/3. And then just a couple time wipes. The Cavalier matchups can be rough. Also the Rakdos Cleave decks or the Go Wide Adventure decks. Just kind of clean up. You could also bounce your creatures and get utility out of it that way. So let's run it through, see how the matches go, tweak the decks as we go along. Where am I at? Plat 2. I want to test it out first before we kind of take it to the rank. So let's do traditional play. Where are you? I'll probably do 2 streams today. This one will be a new deck, and then I'm going to be playing some more Jeskai Control. Want to just kind of continue working on that deck there for best of 1. I've really enjoyed it. So I know we streamed it yesterday, but it'll be kind of a bonus stream with like the new set coming out in a week. Don't want to go too overboard with stuff that might not be relevant. But this is kind of a shell. I'm really interested. I really like the kind of toolboxy enter the battlefield type decks. So if I can find a shell for Thassa, that'd be great. I'm going to mulligan this hand. The mana's not great. We can't Arboreal Grazer on 1 anyways. And we can't, even if we get ahead, we're missing blue mana, so let's mulligan. We can keep this hand. Probably put away the Krasis at this point. So we're just going to no value Charming Prince, just go for the Scry. This is the white weenie deck that's probably been going around. So this is a matchup where we bring in the Time Wipe. It's actually a good draw for us. Let's draw the 8-drop. When it becomes the target of a spell. So we're going to blink it with Charming Prince, so I'm just going to take the damage this turn. We have a lot of ways to gain life in the deck, which is nice. And then this deck kind of snowballs, so they'll have their stuff get a lot bigger. I'm not going to attack because they can do what's it called? The come into play 2 mana, raise the alarm. That's it. so we'll just play this out now. We're going to get another green source. Yeah, so they had the Raise the Alarm, so... Plays well. Kind of want to maximize the amount of lands, so I'm not going to crack this yet anyways. Okay, so they kind of dumped their hand here. And they got Loxodon. Okay, so let's crack this, get a green source. I think we just do this because like Cavalier looks nice here. Take some trades if they want. Do they just go Flyers and Loxodon? So let's just block like this. They may have... Oh, that's actually pretty good with just populating on everyone. So here I need to decide. I can Elite Vanguard, gain some life. I can Cavalier. The problem is they just tap it down. So at least with Dungeon Geist, it keeps them down. I'm going to just go... They're far enough ahead here. I don't want to show them other things in our deck. So in this matchup, I want the Knights, and I want the Time Wipes. Coming out, I think Prime Speaker is too slow. Questing Beast is fine, because they're kind of weenie, so they can't block that well. Probably don't want the Neoforms either. And then the Agents can probably come out. They're too high up on the curve. Cavalier kind of upgrades their things. So we can do Prison Realm or just a Ceratops as a blocker. Kind of like Prison Realm here. It also deals if they have Gideon. Like at this point they think we're probably just creature based. It's another hand that's a bit awkward. Keep it. And we'll get a white source here. Okay, so let's just go this tapped next turn. Hopefully they kind of commit a couple of the same creatures so this Deputy becomes a lot better. If not this turn, we're just going to gain some life. Oh, shit. Do you know what card just like beats us? The one that says turns off your deck. I need a blocker here, so just play you out. How do we run into the one person on ladder that's actually playing Hushbringer? Okay, so they're going Skies, so we're just going to Questing Beast next turn and then try to race them. They gain 2 each turn, but we'll be hitting for 6. You can't block alone? Okay. So we'll see if the Questing Beast is enough of a detriment to get them to try to react. Next turn, probably just play out the Guardmage as a blocker. Okay, so they'll gain some life that way. Also can just set up this Krasis. That's fine. We want more lands to feed into Krasis. This also kind of holds them back on the Hushbringer. Them getting the all flyers draw has also been quite beneficial for them. We've had a good like ground-based defense. That's a very good draw for them. Being able to tap down our flyers. See if they try to force in some damage. Okay, so they don't read their own Loxodon here. They want to trade, they trade. I was hoping to get like Prison Realm or Time Wipe. The thing is, Law Rune Enforcer can only tap down one of our flyers. Oh, they got Glass Casket too. That was a good draw. In this deck, like 2 lands is pretty much all they need to work off of. Another Loxodon, basically for free. Just put out blockers. This feels terrible. Formation. Think we're dead. Basically need Time Wipe. Oh. Okay. I think we just go, so it's 2 white, blue, green. Guardmage gains us life and gets us a card, so I think we bring that back to hand. They don't really have a haste option, plus it's a flyer, which works better on this board. Because we know they do have the Fairy Godmother. Okay. Another Deputy is nice. I'm actually just going to play this out this turn. It gives us 2 blockers for the flyers. I want to get these to give us like multiple value. Oh. Okay. Let's see if they take the damage here. It is a bit riskier if they have Giant Killer to attack. But we're still only taking 1. Just have the center tapped. Binning all these Charming Princes also sucks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But we can put back the Great Henge and gain some life. Okay. Just play these out. We've stabilized well. That time wipe came just in time. That's sweet. We can heal our Hawk. Oh, do they just win? Oh, are you kidding me? Ah! Like, I think it was right to attack. We might have been too conservative on these deputies, but... Alright, let's not play the Hushbringer decks. Our hand was gas if we were able to get the ETBs. But when you're playing out 3 mana 1/1s against your opponent's 1 mana 1/2s, it's not a winning proposition. I haven't played that mono white deck in weeks, and the second we play something with ETBs, we end up getting trunked. We could probably keep this hand. Probably blue mana lead on, because if we need the white, we have untapped white. Theory, we can go Risen Reef. Ooh, opponent missed. Risen Reef, if it hits a land, we can Cavalier next turn. Agent's not bad considering we've kind of flooded. Four drop. So I can Neoform this turn and get... Okay, if they use Epic Downfall there, it bodes pretty well. Scry here is not bad. Guardmage is good. No value here for the Deputy. So they can respond to the trigger by killing it. Let's just go Breeding Pool, enter tapped. So Cavalier dying and putting a Cavalier on top is pretty good. If we can just get that kind of continued value out. What I'm probably going to do this turn... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can agent something. But I might just go Elite Guardmage, Neoform it for Oketra. Because then that's it becomes a 4/7 double strike that makes 4/4s every turn. Or I'm just going to agent this. Just double checking basics. So we still have basics in the deck. Blue, 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 green, green, green. We have a lot of white, but green's probably our heaviest. Thank you. That's my questing beast now. Yeah, that game played out a lot better. So this looks like some sort of Golgari. You know what, I don't have Devout Decree in this deck. That seems wrong. So Prison Realm looks good. Teferi's probably not that good. This matchup probably don't need the Knights. Cavalier can deal with Nisa, which I like. I might just run it like this. You know what, Prime Speaker is probably too... Like, it's a black-based deck, so they're going to have removal. Maybe Ceratops, maybe a Time Wipe just as a catch-up. You know, Deputy's probably also kind of weak. Let's put in the Time Wipes. Because we saw Questing Beast, I don't want the Teferis. We also don't have many sorceries, so it doesn't make sense there. If they're playing like a slower mid-range, like one creature a turn, it works out better. Sounds fine. We have a draw plus a scry off Temple plus a 2 scries off Charming Prince. Our deck's not really a deck they'd bring Duress against, so our hand should be safe. Ooh. Okay, no more lines. It's actually a very good draw. So like game 1, what we're going to do is Fblthp and then bounce it with Charming Prince to get 2 card draws. So we can see Questing Beast as of next turn, so that is a bit of a concern. Yeah. Also can stop drawing lands. That would be great. Opponents had a much better start this game. They were stumbling on mana game 1. Okay, another Charming Prince can draw us another card. Likely means no Nisa this turn. Take 4 more damage. Ooh, Questing Beast of our own. I think we just opt to gain the life. Because I think I want a Time Wipe and like then follow it up with Questing Beast. Let's just do that. Well, that kind of sucks. Keeping up their Paradise Druids. They also know about the Time Wipe. Not bad. If they have another Questing Beast, we're taking a bit of damage. Leyline Prowler. So I play this right. I do this. Put in Forest. Oh no, it came in tapped, so it didn't exactly work the way we wanted, and now I can't Questing Beast. I messed that up. Yeah, I messed that up. We could have had a questing beast attacking this turn. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. It's actually a pretty solid draw. Tap you down. One less Death Toucher to deal with. Then we get to Great Henge next turn. And then we can start making tokens with Castle. Okay. Just block like that. So it's 5, but then I'm short the mana. So let's cast this. Shock Cavalier. I don't think it matters here. Let's get the Scryland into play. I don't want another land, so let's get rid of that. Sweet. In case they have removal, I don't want to take the damage. I'm going to Prison Realm, likely the Leyline Prowler. Just so that way my Cavalier can start attacking. Or do I have anything crazy? I can get Risen Reef and start trying to chain that way, but I think we wait. Okay, so let's just do this. Get you out of the way. No more lands. Just attacking. Really just looking for one of our card draw effects. Ceratops comes down. Well, they get to hit us this turn. But they can't give it trample, so we can block like this. Means we hold back Cavalier next turn. Man. Not drawing here hurts. Like, we just need one creature to really get going. They can give it trample now, so this castle becomes a little less useful. The Murderous Rider here. I could get Time Wipe. Time Wipe's actually not bad, but I think we go Risen Reef here. It lets us draw as well. Maybe Time Wipe was the safer play. This just soaks up a point of damage. So it's Risen Reef. Let's Risen Reef first, because they'll take a land off the top. Neoform. Ooh, and Krasis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So Neoform can get me Oketra. It can get me Tolsimir. Oketra's pretty nice, actually. Okay, so let me attack. It does unlock their Leyline Prowler, but then I just have a really big Oketra. So sack this. Ooh, I have Cavalier of Dawn. Also does a ton of damage, but I think we go Oketra here. Oh, okay, now we're chaining. Now we're doing it. I would love an Agent of Treachery. I would love a Tolsimir. Okay, so that's a turn. We will fight the Leyline Prowler. Alright, opponent. Your turn. So we went from no power on board to an army. What time? That was around 37 minutes. That's a clip turn for sure. I'm just going to give Arena a quick reset and we'll fire up another game. This deck's been fun. I think I might want Devout Decree in the sideboard. Let's see. Let's do it like that and just do Devout Decree. We haven't really run into the red-based matchups that much, but I think having the Exile effect would be good. I think this is a good shell for Thassa, because a lot of times, like, you can just imagine every turn just blinking one of your creatures, and then especially if you have like multiple, like a Risen Reef triggering multiple Risen Reefs. Play first, keep. Curve's a little high, but we got 2 scries. We need a white source. Yeah, just keep it. I think we want to guarantee just our mana this turn. If this is flash, we're going to have a hard time resolving these threats. Okay, so it's ramp. Happier seeing ramp. Four mana is not really the pain point turn. Are they short lands? Okay, no, they have the land. And they keep on top. Boreal last turn would have been good. Let's go get another white source. I'm doing this before we draw to thin out our deck. Agent's great in this matchup if we can steal Anissa. Okay, so we can fight their land this turn. No blocks here. So I could fight a land, or I can Cavalier. Cavalier guarantees an agent next turn, so we can steal their Nissa. I think that's the safer play, unless we whiff. Tolsimir takes them off point of mana, but they're probably far enough ahead. I think the Tolsimir play. Take them off a forest. And then just give some chip damage. Make it seem like we don't have an answer to Nissa right now. Could be a big Krasis. Yeah, Krasis 8. So we took him off 4 extra mana there. So now the question is, do we just steal their Krasis? Knight doesn't do too much here, so it's Cavalier. Doesn't matter. So when Cavalier dies, we can get Charming Prince back and then blink the Agent of Treachery. This is an interesting... What do we... Forgot I got blood work today. Oh, I just punched it. Do we steal the Nissa or do we steal the Krasis? Either way, we can attack in this turn. They likely have another Nissa. They're also very close to just finale this, like finale win. I can agent their Cavalier. I can agent their land. Because likely what they do here... I get a forest untapped. Okay, let's do this. Steal Nissa. Do this. Cast you. Make you a 4/3 just to block. Pass the turn. So I'm going to block. Okay, so they have another Nissa. I'm going to block with my Cavalier of Thorns here when they attack in, and then put Charming Prince on top to bounce my Agent of Treachery. Oh, I wish Thassa was legal. Every turn, just bounce your Agent of Treachery. Okay, they alpha attack here. So block here. Block here. Block here. Block here. I'm not even gonna... Could they have a pump effect? I don't think so. They have a pump effect. They beat us. And then we can have this die again and kind of recycle that same. So I'm going to steal their Krasis. It gives us a blocker. Just get the island here. Then I have the white mana. Just do one of these. Agent comes back. I will gladly take this Hydroid Krasis from you. I got Deputy, which we can get back. Which is probably the play here. Deputy exiled these guys. I'm going to make a token on end step as well. Okay, so they have Finale in the yard. And that was Agent as well. Okay, so Finale and Agent are in the yard. We got to get rid of those. Are they at the risk of almost milling out is also a question. Blast Zone is an interesting one. They just have the Forerunner. Yeah, so they got us. Yep. GG. We let Nisa go on for too long. Knights don't do anything here. Vetoes also aren't the best. So Prison Realm, Cavalier, Time Wipes. Teferi can bounce, but they have the ETBs. Probably just like this. 2 cards to cut. Questing Beast isn't the best in this matchup either. This can at least get some stuff out of the way. They're not really killing our stuff, so Prime Speaker is probably fine in this matchup. Tolsimir is fine. Just run it like that. This one's interesting because we both... It really depends on how fast they get their Nisa out. Sounds sweet. So I'm probably not going to use Charming Prince yet. I want to save it to get some ETB effects. The fact they don't have a turn 2 ramp, that's actually good, because now I can play this and then draw 2. Okay, no land also means no Nisa this turn. Hey Halgrim, thanks for the support. Thanks for the sub. I'm doing well. How about yourself? Do we do Risen Reef? just puts a land into play. I think it's just upside. We get an extra land. So we're out-ramping the ramp deck. They got Ceratops. So Tolsimir is not bad. But I think we wait until we can Tolsimir, blink it, and they get 2 fight wolves. Let's just draw 4 here. No attacks. So we'll take the damage. Games are going well. We lost the first one against White Weenie. They had a couple unbreakable formations to just eke out. And then we beat... what did we just play? We played another deck. I forget which one it was, but we managed to take them out. Because they don't have to trample this turn, I'm fine to trade this off. Okay, so here... we'll sacrifice this. A black-green, yeah, thanks Etons. It was Golgari, more of a mid-rangey version. We can just get a forest here. So do Tolsimir. Have the wolf fight here. Tolsimir. No attacks. Comes back, creates a wolf. This also gains us 6 life. So Cavalier of Thorns is fine because we can exile it with Deputy. This Ceratops is kind of a pain. Okay, that was also a really mediocre flip for them. This being pro-blue, actually pretty good against our board state right now. I will double block. Okay, so they don't attack there. Let's just thin out our deck some more. I could probably grab another blue source. So I want to see if I can bait them into blocking with Ceratops here, because then I could bounce a Tolsimir to fight it. Okay, it's free 2 points of damage. So I could do this on Tolsimir and take out the Risen Reef. Get some off the card advantage, but I think we want to draw a card. So let's do this. Sweet. Grinded him out that game. So Ceratops is in. So I think then we play these questing beasts. Prime Speaker is going to be too slow. Dungeon Geist is probably the cut here. So for those of you who just stopped by, Wizards, thanks to them, will be having me as one of the content creators for the Theros kind of pre-release, so early stream next Wednesday, the 15th. So I'll be jamming decks all day long. Ooh. I think we keep. I just want lands. If we can get a blue source, I'm happy. Land. Yep. So I'm excited to be able to play Theros thanks to Wizards a week early. Play some Mono Black Devotion and then all them goodies. Okay, so our hand's shaping up nice. Hopefully hit a land here. Fibbles. Next turn we get to go double Risen. Yeah, so I think the pre-release is the 17th, the Friday. But this is the streamer event where they give a bunch of streamers early access to like a standalone client. Take action, let's scry, find a land. Perfect. Take action, find a land. You want to block? Don't think so. Yeah, so a bunch of them. So there'll just be a ton of content creators that day putting out a whole bunch of kind of early decks. So just testing a lot of brews, get to see what's kind of good, what's kind of bad, what's fun. I want to try all the devotion. I'm going to jam as many gods as I can. Opponents really had the elemental draw this game. I got a world's worth of... you basically have access to the client, so you can play whatever you want. So like in terms, you can do draft or best of one. They don't have best of three enabled. I may do like a draft offline, but generally speaking, when I've done draft, like viewership drops quite a bit. So I opted to go with Oketra here just because it's a bigger upside play for future turns. Oh shit. Exile another target creature. Oh. That's sick. Take this. And then bounce my own. Oh no, but it goes back into my library. Okay, just play Fibbles. Do I want a Charming Prince, the Deputy, or I could Charming Prince Risen Reef, draw 2 cards. Like, what am I worried about here? I think we save this Charming Prince. Yeah, because now I can exile their Nisa. Feels like a better play. We're still pretty far behind this turn. That agent really kind of slowed us down. Surprised. Oh, but they got the choice. You may put it into exile, so they chose to put it back. Interesting here. This may just be Mystical Dispute that they are holding up. This deck's actually been pretty fun. Getting Nisa off the board, I think, is our first priority. The Aether Gust. That was a good play by the opponent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah! Stupid pig! Are we dead? This feels like we're dead. We're dead. We're dead. It feels like we're always in a tough one there. Just trying to catch up. Let me just give Arena a quick reset. And fire up again. Usually when we run a little bit longer on the stream, I notice a little bit of a frame rate drop, so just want to catch it. Let's run one more. Is there anything else we can do? There's not really like a blow up the world kind of. Like I could try Lumbering Battlement to reset our stuff, but it's not the best. Like we've run into a lot of go wide decks today, so flooding the board's actually better. I think we'd actually be okay against fires. Keep. I'm gonna put away a Hallowed Fountain here because I'm gonna Arboreal Grazer. Oh, that's actually nice. So I can go Grazer, play this. Do I want more lands? Nah. We have the draw from Fibbles. And then we have this fourth land. Cool. I'm not going to show them that we have white just yet. This is Sultai. Could be variety of decks. Could be control. This might be Sultai Adventure. So I'm actually going to go Questing Beast here, because I think if Vannifar lives, it can provide more utility in this matchup, as well as the opponent's kind of fiddling. They need a second black source for Murderous Rider. Alright, well, you're going wilds. They've ramped to their heart's content. They could casualties here. So it's a bit riskier this way because it takes us off white mana. In. Okay, so what I can do here is Prime Speaker for Deputy of Detention. Get rid of Beanstalk Giant. Attack in. And just get Henge going. This is weaker if they have Casualties of War. Ooh, I can do that same play. So what I can do is just gain some life. So what I can do is I can Neoform this. So I can do this, get Fblthp. Fblthp then can Neoform into Deputy of Detention. And then exile this. Or I can Charming Prince and then get both of them under one. That sounds fun. Let's exile you. Tolsimir's fine. Let's do this. Draw a card. Should draw 2 cards. Arboreal Grazer. Let's scry first. Risen Reef's cool. Man, when this deck goes off, it goes off. Krasis to refill our hand. No Questing Beast attack this turn. Deputy comes back. Draw a card. Exile 2 Beanstalk Giants. Fae of Wishes. So this is just Sultai Adventure. So the value play I can do here too is Hydroid Krasis for, oh, they go Finality, but you're dead. Are you not? Do you have enough lands? Okay, we're still okay here. Because I can do this for 1. And then Neoform it. Oh, we just drew into Deputy. Cool. That works. I'll exile you. Just get our flyers out again. Yeah, and Questing Beast, we have Charming Prince to reset, so we can do that same play again. We have 5 points of flying in the air. The cast Fae. And then Foulmire. Okay, that's fine. So this turn, let's start by attacking. So that's 2 points we chip in. Then let's Neoform this. Let's get Oketra. Let's do this. Exile you. Then I can cast you. Have the wolf fight this Fae of Wishes so they can't bounce it back to hand. And then I have 2 mana available, so let's just play out this and call that a turn. 3 Beanstalk Giants, draw a card. one basic. Do you have any basics in the yard? None, so this is still active. Our draw has been quite demoralizing for the opponent. Yeah. Sweet. This deck's fun. So Sultai. Time wipes. What did they have there? They had the finality, they had the phase. I don't know if they're gonna have. So I think we can get rid of the knights. They're probably bringing in Casualties of War. Prime Speakers, probably worth cutting. Their win cons, they probably... Prison Realm's probably fine. And do I want Cavalier? Probably Cavalier. Can probably get rid of Tolsimir because it doesn't deal with as much as the other stuff. Dungeon Geist also seems bad here. Let's try it like that. Really like this deck. Fibbles on 2. Seems fine. Risen Reef on 3 also seems good. We just really want the mana card advantage. Opponent did a lot of setup last game, but not really anything offensive. Okay, so they do have Clover and Lovestruck. Deputy's good at cleaning these up afterwards. Yeah, so I just found out today, thanks to Wizards Denny, that I'll be one of the early access streamers. So I'll be putting out all next Wednesday, the 15th. We'll be doing it. And Denny, you're Denny TV on YouTube, right? I saw your comment on the Jeskai video. I'm gonna respond to it after. So this turn's interesting. How we want to proceed. I think we just take the 2 damage here. And then just go Deputy this turn. Exile the tokens. Probably the call. Gives us the most value. Charming Prince is good. No attacks. So I'm going to throw away Fblthp for the Questing Beast. Not really concerned with this deck having ways of trample. It's just more direct removal. Okay, second edge wall. They do have double blue still. Falmire, draw 2. Oh, it's actually a really nice refill. Concerned with Murderous Rider here, but I think we gotta try it. Yeah, double Brazen's bad. No blocks here. I can double Risen Reef, just try to get ahead on mana. Okay, Prime Speaker. I want to be able to Oketra and Charming Prince the same turn with Deputy, which we'll be able to do next turn. Actually, it's pretty good. So they're just going to flash in the flyer here, draw 2. Also just trying to dig to time wipe. Am I dead? 3 in the air, block, block. Might be dead. If they have removal, I'm dead. Didn't realize my life total was so low. Yep. Lucky Clover's too much value. So Knights come in. Prime Speaker come out. Still want Grazer. Agent's good to steal their big threats. Cavalier of Dawn probably out. Shave down a Questing Beast. Questing Beast in this matchup's pretty rough, because the thing is they have Brazen Borer and Murderous Rider, so they have 2 clean answers. From a tempo play perspective, 4 mana doesn't really get us ahead, so let's keep this. It's a little heavy on lands, but because we can get ahead with Arboreal Grazer, I don't mind it. I may want to hold the Knight to see if they have a Clover. Plus we have the Scry here to hopefully draw us into something else. Yeah, I'm going to keep the time wipe. This is a creature-based deck. Let's see if they have Clover. Okay, Fibble's not bad. Lets us do something with our mana this turn. I'm gonna get another green source. Cavalier's triple green in our deck. Otherwise we have enough white in hand. Oh, you know what? I shouldn't have done that, because now I can't activate Castle next turn. Okay, I'm going to do this because I want to be able to activate Castle in the event that if they want a Brazen Borer here, that's fine. That's like the lowest utility that you're going to get. Because even if they Brazen Borer it, this would result in the adventure fizzling and then they lose the card. Same with Murderous Rider. Okay, so they don't do it. They do have an effect. Okay, so they're just drawing a card here. Opponent's draw has been a lot slower this game. having our one castle and flooding isn't the worst, at least. Edge wall. So they might be struggling on lands. Okay, especially drawing the Fibbles. I'm going to be aggressive in attacking. Taking the Death Touch off the table is beneficial for us. Because we can hit one of our 4-drops, I'm going to Fblthp first before we decide on what line to play. Okay, we got another Knight of Autumn. Probably okay with Deputy here. Keeping Edgewall off the battlefield's good. Play a Clover. Do it. Play Clover. Mainly because they're not going to block, but on the fringe chance they do so. Let's just do this. Deputy actually works really nice with Time Wipe because you bounce your Deputy, the creature comes back into play. They might have like Murderous Rider here. Yeah. So they get it back. Basically just want them to overextend onto the board right now while they take chip damage. Okay, they Beanstalk. We do need an action spell here. I might just have to run this out. Yeah. Just make this a 4/3. Just so we can make a token. I think if they go Beanstalk, I think we still wait on the Time Wipe. Get him to commit a couple more things to the board. Like I'm not too, because this doesn't have Trample and their deck's not an Embercleave deck, I'm not as worried. Yeah, let them commit the world. Can we stop drawing lines, please? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Time Wipe, bounce this. They have 6 cards in hand. Let's just play this out. Like the one problem with this approach, Edgewall just keeps drawing cards, so we're not actually netting anything. Like this is fine. Like we can block this for days. We draw like a second Time Wipe, then I'm okay to pop this off. Or we can pull like Great Henge. Okay, so now I'm a lot more comfortable doing this. So I'm going to return this to hand because it cycles and draws us a card. Like, they still have 7 cards in hand. Alright, we've seen most of the lands in our deck. I'm content. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12. 12 of the 24. So we've seen 50% of the lands in our deck. There's only 12 more lands out of the 39. So 27 live draws. I wonder if they just took Clover out. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hello, good luck. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 lands. I get a Oketra, Cavalier, and Arboreal Grazer next turn. This could be a Legion's End. Yep. That's fine. We might want a third Krasis in this deck. We could generate a ton of mana. Look scared, jump in the way. I really like Fibbles. So at the very least off Oketra, we'll get 1 cast trigger. Okay, they just Beanstalk. Because they can still bounce with Brazen Borer. I'll feel better about it if they cast this. Cast it. No, don't tap like that. Need all my green mana. Because even if they Brazen Borer here, I just play Oketra again this turn. Because I want to do Risen Reef and Cavalier to get the value there. Yeah. That's fine. Still got the 4/4. Oh no, I don't have the blue mana. Or the white mana. We got too aggressive. Oy. There's a lot of goodies in there. Probably get Krasis back. They're at 33, we're at 28 cards. This is definitely a grindy one. Oketra's been sweet. I wonder if she finds a way into like a White Devotion deck. It insists I tap mana that way. Still have Agents of Treachery. Which is pretty good. Just make an army of 4/4s. Be sweet if these were elementals instead of zombies with Risen Reef. Kind of just want like an evasive threat here. Still have Great Henge here. Come on, opponent. Opponent. They bounce a zombie. That feels incredibly low value. Opponent's at 13.5 minutes. I've used 4 more minutes of clock. These Grazers also conveniently block these Borrowers for at least a turn. Okay, play out more. The thing too is I always have the option to reset this board with time wipe, which they know about. And then Oketra just gets shuffled back in. $29, 26 cards. Charming Prince seems sweet. Let's play this. And I think we just do that. I don't really want to commit this knight this turn in case we do need to. You know, we could probably attack with Oketra. Because if they multi-block, so they block this. Nah, she's more value. They may have a bounce. We've seen 2 thus far. Okay, they fade back. Neoforms out, but we don't really have Neoform targets at this point, so that's fine. 19 cards. I think we need to start being aggressive. Ooh, mass. This doesn't even work out that well for them, because now we just time wipe. Unless they steal our Cavalier. How does this work? When Cavalier dies, you may exile. If you do, put another target card from graveyard on top of your library. Just cause. Agent. Yes, please. I would like my Cavalier back, please. Thank you. I think we just attack in as such. They get 2 blocks and kills, and then throw a token in the way. Just want to put some points of damage on them. Actually, we don't really get damage, we just take them off a 1/1. Knight. So just pass the turn. I could just bounce Agent next turn. They're at 27. Okay, so they have the Clover. We get a target for it at least. But I think the life gain might be more relevant. Alright, what do you got? You got a discard effect. If they have that like thought distortion, I think is what it's called, then we're in pretty rough shape. Ugin. And Liliana. Okay. Actually, it's not terrible because I can just wipe their board, Agent, get back, like steal whatever Planeswalker they play. Even if they have a removal spell here, like if they go Ugin minus on Agent, then we get it back with Cavalier. That also draws them a ton of cards, which at this point is probably not the best.
Rise and
shine. Let's just make a 1/1. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. I want. Now we just threaten them with the ultimate here. And I think we just Knight of Autumn here and blow up the Lucky Clover. I don't want to attack here. I think we're in a pretty solid spot overall. Opponent here is... Actually, our board's kind of rough. If they have a sweeper, we can draw out our deck. Oh, Raptors are playing. Hour 40 with this stream. Casualties of War. Sure. I would like... I don't think we can get Questing Beast. Doesn't really do much on this board state. Deputies, actually not bad. Charming Prince. Actually, I think the play's just Charming Prince. Because then I also get to draw it. Because now Agent steals their Ugin. They're going to Ugin this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. $17, $25. So the problem here right now is they can discard 2 cards in response to get around. So I do have to steal their flyer. Now, you know what? Let's play this turn safe and wipe the board. They may also just time out. We should have attacked with everything just to waste more of their time. Interesting, they get rid of Brazen Boar. They put a catcher in our graveyard. That was the only downside of that play. They have Edgewall. Weird sequencing, but sure. May have to steal both the Lovestruck Beasts. What do they get off granted here? These Fays have really kept him in it. Cameo. Aye. What do I even have left in my deck for Neoform? Risen Reef. We got the Vanguards. 1 deputy. 2 deputies. Okay, so I still have Deputy of Detention. Let's gain control of you. Exile you. What do we have left in our deck? Really not much. Do I steal the flyer? No, I think we just take Love Struck. Make a Tameo for like mass manipulation here. I'm pretty dead. This game's been really good. $18 cards, 14. It's taken us a while to get the Great Henge. Just haven't seen it. Still have a Beanstalk Giant here too. What we want is Time Wipe. So if we have in the deck, there's 2 knights left, or what are they called?